Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to the Happiest Cast on Earth, the show where we review anything and everything that was somehow released by the Walt Disney Corporation. And on today's very special Halloween episode of the Happiest Cast on Earth, you guys might notice something. For one, I'm alone again, but for two, this is not on the radio. Now, for those of you that just listen to the show on Spotify or watch it on YouTube, this might sound a little weird. But for those of you unaware, this is actually a radio show. This usually airs on the radio first, and then I tweak it a little bit, and then I upload those to YouTube and Spotify. This episode is going to be a little bit different because my school has fall break, and I do my show on Thursdays. Fall break starts on Thursday, which means I don't have to do a show this week, but I'm doing it anyway to please the Spotify crowd and to please the YouTube crowd, because I love you guys and I love you and I love doing this, so I'm gonna keep doing this. And so for this week, for our third Halloween episode, we are looking at a Freeform series, the very first time we've ever looked at a Freeform series, and it is season 2, episode 15 of a show called Siren. It looks like it's about evil mermaids, which is very interesting coming from Disney, because when you think of Disney mermaids, you think of obviously the Little Mermaid, but this is in fact not a Disney style mermaid, but even though it is Disney, otherwise it wouldn't qualify for the show, which is very interesting. So I know next to nothing about the show at all. I don't even know why I put it in the Halloween list. I guess it looks kind of horror adjacent because, you know, sirens are monsters. Like, mermaids are creatures, like beautiful creatures. Like, sirens, on the other hand, they're like monsters, you know? Like, there's a key difference between a mermaid and a siren, which is why I guess that's why I counted it for the Halloween shortlist. But yeah, I'm going into this completely blind, and I have not watched the episode just yet. So I'm going to go ahead and watch the thing, and then when I come back, I will review the thing and give you guys my thoughts. And I don't have to be limited to an hour, so it can be as long or as short as I want it to be, because again, it's just one episode of a show I've barely even heard of. So stay tuned for that here on the Happiest Cast on Earth. Alrighty, so I just got done watching Siren Season 2, Episode 15, Sacrifice. What the hell was that? No, like seriously. What the hell was that? Because it made no sense. It made just about as sense as diving in, no pun intended, head first into Season 2, Episode 15 of a TV drama. So, yeah. Needless to say, I was very lost. Even with the previously on at the beginning of the episode, what it was trying to tell me of what happened in the previous episodes, as the previously ons typically do, I had absolutely no idea what was going on even in those. Which, aren't the job of those supposed to, like, I don't know, catch you up on what happened in case you missed episodes? not make you even more confused of like, wait, who's this person? What's going on? Who? What? Granted, that's mainly due to the fact that I've never seen the show before. But still, I feel like with serialized television in general, especially during the streaming era, we have become a lot less welcoming to new viewers because with each there's an establishment, a preconceived notion that the audience had watched every single episode before, which is not a bad mindset to have, but if you keep on doing it, it's going to alienate new viewers. There was this saying that Stan Lee said that every single comic book is somebody's first. Now, that's a good mindset to have as well, but you shouldn't write every single episode of a TV show as if it's episode 1. But you should also keep in mind that, especially with how cable works, somebody's probably just going to be stumbling upon this show and have absolutely no idea what the hell is going on. Such was the case here with this episode. Now, the basic concept of this episode is that there are two main storylines going on. One, this guy named Chris has amnesia. I guess he was like a recurring character on the show. And I guess in like the previous episode he got amnesia, and now all his friends are trying to make sure that he gets his memory back. So they're doing a fucking sitcom plot. They're doing just a bland, generic sitcom plot that everyone has done before. I'm pretty sure Dallas did this. Wasn't that like the big thing that Dallas did? No, it was somebody died, and then everything was the whole season was a dream. I don't think this show's gonna go that far, but it'd be really stupid if it did. And the other plot is that this mermaid character is trying to get pregnant, and as you probably may know, mermaids can't really get pregnant in the traditional way. So they have to go through this whole weird culty ritual that involves their eggs, and it's really weird and really unsettling, and I don't think they intended it in that way. So I will now recreate to you guys my exact feelings watching this episode for the very first time. When are they gonna get to the mermaid factory? Because keep in mind, guys, when this show was marketed, I do vaguely remember seeing marketings for this on Freeform. When this show was marketed, what was like the number one thing they show in all of the marketing? Mermaids, alright? Or sirens, whatever. The best way to describe a siren is an evil mermaid, right? And so naturally, a show called Sirens, you want to see the sirens. You want to see the evil mermaids. So, for the love of God, why do you barely see them in one scene and you finally see them at like the very end of the episode? I understand that this is just like one episode, but like, I don't know, look at like another fantasy series made by ABC Studios, Once Upon a Time. And that show has a whole lot of problems and would be enough for its own podcast, radio show, really. But the thing is, with Once Upon a Time, it gives you the fantasy stuff right out of the gate, and every single episode, there's an even balance between all the boring real world crap and the fantasy crap you actually care about. So, please, tell me, why is there barely any fantasy elements in this fantasy show? Are you trying to be realistic? Newsflash, it's fantasy. They're freaking mermaids. Embrace the corniness, you losers. It's such a 2010s idea. Another thing about this episode is that it was freaking boring. with this being the penultimate episode of the season, it kind of expects you to know who everybody is, which is fair, I guess. But me not really knowing who anybody is, I'm just kind of sit there twiddling my thumbs, being like, okay, I guess these guys are friends. I guess they're friends. Okay, I guess she's a mermaid. Wait, are all these other people? Are all these other women mermaids too? Wait, are they humans? Like they kind of sound like they're mermaids. Like, oh, they're doing this weird like ritual thing. I so like does this technically count to be in like the Halloween playlist? Because like sirens are like monsters, but like I'm not seeing any sirens or any like horror elements in this episode like at all. Like what's going on? Oh, this was just a complete mess, a complete wet mess to get through. Almost about as messy as the mermaid and Cabin of the Woods. Oh my God, it is. Ugh. Some some notes, some quick little notes. So there's another plot where where these basically these detectives are like investigating like this crime scene, and one of the sirens was involved, and one of them said, and I quote, "There's something on her face, some kind of scales," and I was just thinking, yeah, they're freaking mermaids. Are you mad? Are you sick in the head? Like, I like. Can I just say one of my least favorite tropes in modern fantasy stories is where people who don't believe in the thing get undisputed evidence that a mythical creature is real, and they just try to paint it off as like anything but. Like, like in Death of the Unicorn, for instance, like there's this one scene where they find the unicorn, and everybody's trying to say anything but it's a unicorn. It's like, well, it's a horse with some type of horse figure with a horn, but it was Jenna Ortega who just went out and said, no, it's a fucking unicorn. And I can say fuck because this episode's not going on the radio, but the problem I have with it is just like, yeah, we know it's a magical thing. We all know it's magical. Like in Death of a Unicorn, we all know it's a unicorn, and in this show, we all know it's a mermaid or a siren. Like, so why are you trying to beat around the bush, especially like this late into the show, and just flat out say it? Yeah, that's a siren. They're mermaids. They exist in this world. Bada bing, bada pool. Oh. So there was one scene where one of the guy friends whips out a phone that looks like it's from 2008. This episode aired in 2019, and I have to assume that it also takes place in 2019 because it doesn't establish that it's a period piece at all. All right, some more. This is okay. This part. It's probably the moment of this entire show that really made me lose it. All right, are you guys ready for this? Are you guys ready for this? Brace yourselves. Brace yourselves. The mermaid's name, the siren's name, the main character's name of this show, her name is Rin Fisher. I hope you realize that I did not add in that silence. I did not intentionally edit that in there, and I didn't stumble over anything. I wanted you guys to just settle in and realize that the mermaid's name is Ren Fisher. Like for Christ's sake. That's why it's like if you named Bambi like George Hunter or something like that. Like what the heck? Like how could I take this show seriously, which it wants me to take it seriously, when you named your mermaid Fisher? I'm sorry, that's funny. That's stupid, and they didn't intend it to be that stupid. Like that is so stupid. That's some like that's comic book lot stupid. That's like straight out of a children's fairy tale, and this doesn't want to be treated like a fairy tale, even though it has a fairy tale creature in it, and because it's stupid. The people who made this show are stupid. They thought it was stupid that we would take this seriously. Like, leave it alone. Yeah, they thought it was stupid to use one of the most overdone plots in TV history by giving one of their main characters amnesia and including this weird cult stuff and being behind the times. Like, this show feels like it is such 10 years behind because it premiered on Freeform in 2018 and it ended in 2020. I have to assume that it got canceled due to the pandemic, which is more than likely given on how, let's be honest, this show probably wasn't on Freeform's priority list. And let's be honest with ourselves, we only really watch Freeform in October and December for their 31 days of Halloween and 25 days of Christmas. But the thing, but dang, man, this show really is ridiculous. And apparently like the mermaids run on like splash rules where they only show like the fins whenever they're wet, because that's like when we get to see Fisher's fin. So, or I guess it's more Luca rules. I haven't seen Splash either, so correct me if I'm wrong about the rules. But it's just a complete and utter train wreck this episode is. So, yeah, on a scale of 1 to 5, I'd probably give this a 2. This was, as a newcomer, this was so boring and stupid and dumb. Like, I feel like if this was weirder, I would gravitate toward this more. Like, Once Upon a Time. That show gets bonkers, and I love it because of how weird and silly it can get. This show just isn't silly enough or interesting enough with its drama for me to care. It's like you promise me sirens, and you don't give me any sirens. What the heck? But anyway, guys, that will be it for this week's episode. What do you guys think of Sirens Season 2, Episode 15, Sacrifice? Please let me know down in the comments. And please be sure to join us next week on the Happiest Cast on Earth, where we will take a look at the Disney Channel original movie, Twitches. But until then, I will see you later. Bye. When you wear the shirt, make no difference where you fucking are. In the garden, where you